Well, hello besties. It obviously has been a hot minute since I posted. If you haven't noticed, it's been like a little over a month. And for this video, I've been debating this entire past month whether or not I should tell you what's been going on with my life. And I'm like, maybe my personal stuff doesn't need to be on the internet. You know, I've kind of been through a lot. But then the amount of stuff that's just happened to me this month has just been absolutely incredible that I feel like I have to share. Like, it was already bad and I didn't think it could get worse, and then it just kept getting worse. So I'm here to share with you my experience of the past month today, and why my new year quite wasn't starting off great. So if you don't have the emotional capacity to listen to someone else's problems, a little bit of like negative things, then don't worry, skip a few minutes ahead. But if you've also been having a rough time and feel like you need someone else out there to relate to and know that you're not alone, I got you. I hope no one relates to anything that I'm saying, but just know if you've been struggling, you are not alone. Okay, let's get this started. So kind of the precursor to this all was my one family dog, Willow, passed away the night before Halloween, but I got the news on Halloween, and that was again kind of like a little before this whole month happened, but it still was kind of the first event, which was obviously very sad, very heartbreaking, but she was an older dog and she went peacefully. But the real main event started December 14th. So my grandmother, passed away very suddenly, and she wasn't near us and we didn't get to say goodbye, and honestly I can't really talk about it that much because it's very emotional for me. But yeah, it was just very sudden and very devastating, and that was kind of the first event. And because of that, I went home from Philly to my family home and have just stayed there, and that was like 10 days before Christmas, so I just stayed there up and through until Christmas. So yeah, that was heartbreaking. It still is. I still, again, can't really talk about it that much, but going through Christmas time with all this happening, losing my dog and losing my Grammy was again very difficult, and kind of the holidays were just a big bummer. I was very sad, very just recluse, and I just, honestly, the holidays were not that great. And then 2 days after Christmas, my beloved dog Zoe, you know her, you love her, has a seizure in the middle of the night, to the point where about a minute in, she's not breathing anymore. And I don't even know what came over me, but I just had the instinct to give her CPR, and I literally kind of breathed the life back into her. After I was like breathing into her nose, she finally like took a breath and like regained herself. So yeah, that was very traumatizing, not having my dog breathe. And I already was losing sleep over the grief and the sadness that I've been through, and now I haven't been able to sleep because I've been up every night fearful that my dog isn't breathing in the middle of the night, is gonna have a seizure. So I literally like wake up in a panic every hour and I'm like, let me check if Zoe's breathing. She's okay though. We took her to the vet. Everything was clear. It was a freak accident, and hopefully praying that never happens again. And then at this point, I've been home for like 2 weeks. I'm like, I want to go back to my apartment. I've been living out of my suitcase and like barely any of my stuff. I just want the comfort of my apartment, all my stuff, my own food, my own routines back. Like, I need to go home. So I went home New Year's Eve, and I just stayed at home alone New Year's Eve. Obviously, I'm not going out, not doing anything. This COVID Omicron is running rampant, and I'm not in the mood to even do anything, even if I wanted to. And that kind of sounds depressing, spending New Year's alone and doing nothing. I literally laid in my bed and went to bed at like 12:05. But honestly, that was like the highlight of my month, just like chilling on New Year's and doing nothing. And then 2 days after New Year's, when I come back to my apartment, my roommate tests positive for COVID. It sucks. There's nothing we can do. Obviously, I'm not upset or anything. I'm just like, that really sucks because I'm living with her. I'm literally next to her and with her all the time. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna quarantine with you because again, I'm in direct contact with you and I don't want to spread it anywhere. So we quarantine for her week. But during this week I have my period, which again is a minor detail, but I always feel like I'm dying on my period. So I wasn't even like getting any relaxing or relief. And I'm like, okay, it looks like we made it through your week. She's feeling better. She tests negative. And I'm like, wow, I made it through the week and I seem to not have gotten it. Wrong. On the last day of her quarantine, I get a little bit of sore throat. And the next day I get a little bit more of a sore throat. And then the next day I feel like I'm dying, and surprise, I have COVID. Which again sucks, but there's nothing really you can do about it. The thing that sucks the most is just that I still stayed safe and literally didn't go out and didn't see anyone. It just, I caught it from being at home, which again, nothing you can do about it. Just stay quarantined, follow the CDC guidelines, and wait till you're feeling better and test negative. So I really only felt terrible for like 3 days of the week that I had to quarantine, but those 3 days were absolutely brutal. And then obviously a few more days went by, rest of my quarantine went by, test negative, feeling great. And we think Yay, the story's over now. One more thing. The last day of my quarantine, my mom calls me up. She's like, Reese, can I talk to you? And I'm like, oh my God, what is it? My other family dog, Rocky, apparently has a cancerous tumor, and they had to drain all this fluid from his chest. He's been coughing. So they went to take him to the vet for why he's been coughing. They thought maybe something was stuck in his throat. Nope, he has cancer. So I'm like, that's really great. That is really, really, really great. So now I'm sad and emotional all over again. I go home again for another like 5 days or so. And now I'm here. Now I'm back. And a month has officially passed from the 14th when this all started. And I'm hoping it's just over. Granted, Mercury retrograde did just start, and not to be that bitch that cares about the planets and stuff, but every Mercury retrograde, I feel like shit. So we're just hoping that the universe is gonna give me a break. You know? Because I literally don't think I could handle anything else. And those were just the main events. There was a lot of other little things, and a lot of my friends and people close to me had big personal things happen to them as well that I was supporting them through. So I was just an emotional wreck for the past month. And every time I thought it was over, another thing happened. So yeah, that's been my month. That's where I've been, guys. Has not been great. I'm not gonna use this as a bad omen for the whole of 2022. I'm just gonna see it as it got everything bad out of the way first, so then I have an easygoing rest of the year. Hopefully. All this to say, I'm sorry I've been gone. Obviously, I've had some situations, but I'm most sorry and sad that I missed all the content that I love to do, the holiday content and the New Year's content, because I haven't even been able to make New Year's resolutions or plans or make goals or my vision boards or things I have to do. So to accommodate for that, I will be starting the new year of 2022 in February. January, we're just erasing that from this calendar, okay? So I will be making all of my New Year's content and goals and getting back into things after all these traumatic events happened to me, you know, get the ball back rolling. I already feel better today. Again, I think my curse has lifted. I think it was a month-long curse. Came back to my apartment, got some new goodies, bought a new vacuum, vacuumed my apartment, got clean, got ready. We're trying, okay? But we will persevere. Hopefully. I'm sorry if that was a lot to handle. Just imagine how I felt. And again, hopefully that wasn't too much for you to take on. If you skipped it, okay? If you skipped it and came to this part, just know I've been through a lot. You don't need to hear it. It's not gonna make anyone feel better. But again, if that brought you any comfort at all to your own problems, that's great. That's literally the only reason why I'm sharing this stuff. One, because it's just incredible, again, the amount of stuff that has happened to me that I feel like I just have to share it. And two, the only reason I share things like this, because typically I don't like to share my problems. I like to stay pretty positive and just work through my problems, and what's in the past is in the past. But the only reason I share things like this is because I want anyone else out there listening to know that you are not alone with your struggles. A lot of shitty things happen, and you're not the only one going through them. We all have different problems, but you know, shit hits the fan for all of us. Pretty much, I just wanted to say hello, happy new year, introduce myself back into the game because I've been off it for a while, and that get ready for all the content that I kind of missed out on the past month. And also, one final little segment is that we hit 100,000 subscribers. We hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel, which was one of my main goals on my vision board for 2021. And I actually hit it December 14th when all this started. So it was like a good thing and a bad thing. We're just not worried about the date, but we hit 100,000 subscribers. So I wanted to say thank you so much. Like, I haven't even been able to really process it that much. But I finally can get that little plaque, the little silver play button. Oh, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited for what this year is gonna bring. I don't want to jinx it, knocking on wood, but I know I'm gonna try to bring my best to the table and to content and all that type of stuff. So yeah, that was a lot. I don't really know how to end this because that literally was just so much. But yeah, that's where I've been. Can't wait to see you guys some more, make some more content and do some more things. And forget about, again, January. January doesn't exist. January what is that, a month? I don't know. And start the new year off right in February. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure that you stay tuned till my next video. Peace.